Hey everybody, it's Bruno. Here's my new episode of NB. Be my next guest on NB by clicking on the link below and we'll contact you. So listen, enjoy the episode.
That's right. What's up, you sucker?
I have my good friend David Ferrari, director of NSA Hockey in Down Under, Australia. How are you, David?
I'm great. Thanks, Bruno. Thanks for having me.
Hey, okay. Hockey Down Under. What gives?
I know it's a lot of people don't expect it, but I can tell you after living in Canada for a long time, a lot of people who come here are quite surprised. You know, we have everything you think we wouldn't have. We have a national league, national teams, and rinks in most major cities. But that being said, it's obviously not a mainstream sport here. So we're heavily involved in getting the game growing, but it's often bigger than you think, particularly coming from a country like Canada.
So you said you lived here in Canada.
I did, yeah, 9 to 10 years in Calgary.
Wow, and how old were you when you were out here?
Kind of 19 to 28, 29.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, you weren't like born into hockey.
No. I picked it up in Australia when I was about 11 or 12.
Wow.
And then always had the desire to get overseas since about the age of 14.
So where did you live?
In Calgary, northwest Calgary. So
No
experienced the frosty winters of Calgary, which now, being removed from it, I really miss.
I bet you don't miss it today. And they have production here. It's like it is snowing, it's cold, and it's just July. No, I'm just joking. Late October. But so then you ended up leaving here, going back to Australia, and you loved it so much that's what you're doing for a living.
Yeah, I really wanted to work in hockey in Calgary, and I just wanted to, although I wanted to move back to Australia to be, my wife is Australian. I wanted to recreate what I was working in overseas. So started NSA Hockey with two other gentlemen, John Kennedy Jr. and Matt Lindsay, and we're just trying to grow the game of hockey at the entry level. Like we have a learn to play program, adult recreational leagues, and then also working with young players that are trying to become elite.
You know, and so how many players? So what city are you in? Tell the people what city you're in.
We're in Newcastle, New South Wales.
Okay. And obviously it doesn't snow there often.
Probably never. Yeah.
Is it never snowed down there?
At least, well, not that I know of in Newcastle. Like a typical winter's day, a chilly winter's day might be 12 degrees.
How do you survive? Anyways, so moving down there, how many rinks do you have in Newcastle?
One
rink.
Yeah.
So one sheet of ice.
One sheet of ice, and 2.5 hours away from us is Sydney, Australia, which most people know, and they're a city of 4-5+ million people, and they have 3 rinks.
So who owns the rink?
All the rinks are private. They vary. We have a great ownership group here in Newcastle, which is why it's probably one of the most strongest and long-running rinks going around. But other rinks are started from kind of figure skating families or hockey families. Yeah, it's pretty.
So is it hard to recruit hockey players? Number one sport down there is soccer, or is it rugby?
Well, I would say soccer, but rugby and Australian
football.
Be close behind it. Yeah.
Do you guys call it football?
We call it soccer.
That's what I thought. And somebody corrected me a little while back, and they just said, no, it's football in Australia. I don't think so, but
And our footballs is footy. We kind of have a way of shortening everything.
And Australia does very well in football, in soccer, right?
Yeah. Been to some World Cups.
Yeah, because last time, did you guys not? I can't remember what year, but you guys did really, really well. Made it to the quarterfinals or something.
We did, yeah. Yeah.
That's great. Now, does the country go crazy when you do well in the World Cup?
Absolutely. World Cup, Olympics, Commonwealth Games. It's a country that really gets behind the national team. So yeah, the World Cup is nuts.
That's good. That's good. I often wondered why, you know, you kind of gravitated towards hockey. And, you know, we've kind of chit-chatted a few times already, and we connected, and I'm just kind of thinking, of all the sports you can play in Australia, why do you kind of push the hockey thing? Do a lot of people watch the NHL?
More now, since it's popular on the internet. You know, you get NHL Game Center for about $100 and see every game. But it's not on TV here. You might get the odd game on cable TV, like Fox Sports, but it's not on TV. Yeah, it's. I followed my brother into the game, and he, or I guess we both got into it after watching the Mighty Ducks movie. And I think most players of my generation in Australia can all attribute their getting into the sport through the Mighty Ducks. But what I love about the game, and what I kind of sell parents on now getting their kids into the game, is that, you know, you get all that equipment on and the face cage in front of your face, and you just get out on the ice and let loose. You know, a lot of kids can kind of hide in that equipment and become someone else on the ice. And it was really cool. I remember feeling that myself as a kid, and you can just crash into anything. You're the Michelin Man with all that padding on. So it's a cool, really free feeling. And I was an asthmatic growing up, still am, and the cold just did wonders for my asthma. So I was in the rink. If it wasn't for hockey, I was skating public skate sessions, and I kind of, although in Australia, I really grew up in the rinks.
So you were mentioning that you spent some time here in Calgary. So you obviously played hockey here in Calgary, or in Canada.
Yeah, a little bit.
Played before?
Sorry?
You had never played hockey before, but you played when you were a kid in Australia.
Yep.
Then
Grew
you
up
came out here.
Yeah.
And were you surrounded by, what were you doing out here?
Well, I really just wanted to be, like you said, surrounded by the game. I wanted to be somewhere where I could pick up the newspaper and read about hockey, turn on the TV, watch hockey, go down to a local rink and be around hockey. So I just wanted to be more around the game. You know, I started playing just in Canada when I got there, recreational hockey, a little bit of senior hockey up in Northern Alberta. And then I got involved in coaching a little bit with Hockey Alberta, and then the Drumheller Dragons in the Alberta Junior Hockey League.
Oh boy, you're like real time. You're big time here.
Well, yeah, I just was around the game at every level I could be.
So when you said you got involved in coaching, that's kind of how we connected. So now you still go back and forth a little bit if you can.
Yeah,
doors open.
Out of the year in Calgary or North America. If I'm ever there for, you know, I'm there often with a hockey team, I try to either go early or extend my stay and kind of do visits to coaches I know or people I know to just stay in contact. So
how we met was through your association. I guess you were working with some people over at the COCHRANE Hockey Association. And walk us through what you were doing over there.
Yeah, so in Drumheller, my time there, I worked with another assistant coach by the name of Ryan Hildeman. And Ryan heads up P3 Sports, which work out of Cochrane and work with the Cochrane Minor Hockey Association. So on one of my trips, I just kind of extended it and kind of sat in on a lot of Ryan's sessions, helped him out with some on-ice stuff. And they were delivering a coaching module to the Cochrane Minor Hockey coaches, which I sat in on and saw you present. And it really hit home because in Canada, you're really fortunate that there's a lot of coaching programs and kind of certifications for coaches. But in Australia, there isn't a lot. And a lot of what you were delivering about the Hall of Fame coaching and just how to be a better coach. And we not once spoke about tactics. Really resonated with me, and I thought this is something that we can use in Australia and something we've kind of incorporated into our programs that we do here in Australia.
Wow, thanks for the plug. I didn't expect that. I thought, you know, you're training all the fighters down there or something like that. Well, you know what? That's pretty much all the time we have for this episode today. Thank you for tuning in with us, and you know what? Make sure you subscribe to our Megapix Media channel, so you will never miss an episode. And also you can follow us on LinkedIn and Facebook, Instagram. We have content almost every day. So thank you very much for joining us. I'll see you guys soon.